Hi there, here I am again. And recently I have been asked, I made a video with the title How I Fucked Up My First 5D Abundance Impulse. And afterwards I have been asked if I have resolved my money trauma. And I thought, in the beginning, I thought yes, but in the meantime, I know I didn't resolve it, but I can tell you more about it because I think it's interesting. It's interesting, and obviously it's an ongoing process, and begin slowly to understand what it is about. So my money trauma started when I was quite young. It was I had moved out from my home 2 weeks after my 80th, 18th birthday. And I lived in a very tiny room and I received state allowances. And the month I had at my disposal was about 400 marks. So very long time ago. And the tiny room was about 170 marks. So there was not much money left for me to live on, and it was never enough. I made a lot of debts during this time. So one day I had just been at the bank. I went into town to buy things, and I encountered a group of gypsy girls. So a group of girls, and I was seized by pity, and I decided to give them some money, and I decided to give them 5 marks. It was really a huge amount, a big amount for me. And while I was standing there, they were all around me, moving around me. I didn't notice anything special, but when I came home, I noticed that they had stolen me 60 marks. And I was really devastated. With this money, I could live for 2 weeks. And it was really, really horrible. And I found, of course, I couldn't really blame them, but it was a great injustice to me because I had wanted to be kind and they didn't had paid it back to me, so to speak. And from that time, I never opened again my purse to give someone money, or before this person, only in secret or when I am in another place. And some time ago, not so long, maybe a year, I had the very lucky opportunity to tap with someone, to do EFT tapping on my money issues. And then this thing came up. I hadn't thought of it for a very, very long time, but it turned out that this had traumatized me in some way. And the consequence or the learning experience which has stuck with me since then is that I have really, really difficulty in giving money to others, giving money away. So you can imagine with this background, it was a really a huge opportunity to give the man before the bank 25 euro. But then I really felt good in doing it because I knew it was the right thing. And I also felt I got some applause from my guides for this. But then things began to become difficult. And the next impulse I got regarding this man was to give him 5 euros. And this was more difficult than the 25. It took me several days to do it. And I was so resistant. I took other ways. One day I went to the shop and I used another way. I went on the other side of the road and feigning that I didn't register him, but he wouldn't let me go away with it. He cried me hello from the other side of the street. And I was a little bit ashamed. But in the end, in the end, someday, of course, I took my 5 euro and went to him and gave it to him in his hand. And then I went away. And I think maybe what I have to learn there is to give with joy. I think this is the point. Not only to give money or things to others, but to give with joy. And now I feel somehow relieved. I have changed a little bit my attitudes when I go to the ATM. Now I have stopped taking these very small amounts, so I don't have to go there so often. But yes, it's in progress. It's in progress. Anyhow, I think the point is that now I'm learning not to have bad feelings when I see him. And what I realized is that probably he has also learned things in this. So I don't know. I will see how it will turn out. Even though I think there is no end point in this. So that's the story of my money trauma. And maybe you have a story too. Then write it in the comments. As I said, I've put on the comments on strict. So now have a nice day. Bye.